Welcome back to another week in the yard with NC Grass Plugs. Today we are bringing you another maintenance item, and that is applying fertilizer. This week we are going with a liquid fertilizer, and I want to tell you a little bit about how I apply fertilizers. I like to spoon feed my lawn. That means you give your lawn a little bit of fertilizer every couple of weeks, but you keep the rates very low. Now, the way I explain this to people is, if you want to fertilize your yard 3 times a year, you have to put out a lot of fertilizer. Even if it's slow release, what happens is your lawn goes way up and it peaks. It looks really good for a week or two, and then it starts coming down. Comes down for a couple weeks and goes down a couple more weeks, and then you got to reapply your fertilizer maybe 6 to 8 weeks later, and you go through this cycle, and it's like a roller coaster. When you spoon feed your lawn, you basically bring it up. It may not peak quite as high, but you keep it right here. Every couple of weeks you're feeding it. It's very consistent. It gives your lawn a beautiful even growth and color, and it just is what Zoysia likes. Centipede likes the same thing. That's why I do it. Now today we are applying a liquid fertilizer called Greens Plus. It's an Ecologel product. It's on the table behind me, and we're going to put out some Bifenthrin. It's called Talstar P. This is going to take care of any insects that we have anywhere from the thatch level up. It doesn't really penetrate the soil and stay active. The mineralization of the soil renders the active ingredient inert, so it's not really good for soaking into the ground. It's not going to last long at all. So it's not a real good thing for grubs. You may see a couple of grubs die from it, but it's not going to get down in the soil and really work. The third thing we're putting out today is called CytoGro. CytoGro is cytokinins. It comes from sea kelp. It's a lot like RGS. This is a different brand, made from BioPro Ecologel, and it differs from RGS in that this is I think it's an EPA regulated product, which means they have to guarantee the analysis. It's not like you can just mix up some extract and say it's exact every time, because it's not going to be. In this particular product, it is going to be. It has to be. That's just the way the law is and the way it works. So you're going to get more consistency out of it. You're going to get a more precise application. It actually works really well. Now, CytoGro is typically a foliar application, which means you spray it on the leaves, but we also know it will work down in the root zone and in the rhizosphere. So we're going to apply it with our fertilizer today and our Bifenthrin. The fertilizer Greens Plus is a 14-4-10, and it has 65% slow release nitrogen in the form of urea-triazone. Now, anytime you have slow release, that means you're going to want to get this product down to the soil level and not spray it just on the leaves. We want a very heavy droplet, and that droplet's going to come in the form of a spray tip called a flood jet. It doesn't matter what size flood jet you're using. What's important is that you've calibrated your sprayer for the tip you're using. You know how much product is coming out in a given amount of time, and in that specific given time you can walk 1,000 square feet or however many square feet you're spraying with your tank volume. We have 2 different ways to get this product out. We can use a backpack sprayer, or we can use any kind of hose end sprayer. Now, with the size of my yard, using a hose end sprayer is not really efficient. I can spray this out with my backpack sprayer and get it more evenly covered in a faster amount of time. Though it may require a little more walking, I'm not dragging a hose around the yard. Greens Plus takes 2 gallons of water plus the correct amount of product per 1,000 square feet. The label says you can use 8.4 ounces per 1,000 square feet of the product. Will give you 1/10 of a pound of nitrogen. 1/8 of a pound is 10.5 ounces, and 1/4 pound is 21 ounces. Now, I want to go back and be really clear on my spoon feeding. 1/10 of a pound of nitrogen every 2 weeks does not sound like much, but it is more than enough and more than your lawn needs. We're gonna mix this up and get it on the lawn. I chose to go with the Ecologel Greens Plus. It's a 14-4-10, which makes it perfect for zoysia grass or centipede. It also has 65% slow release nitrogen in the form of urea-triazone. We're going with CytoGro. We recommend that you apply 0.8 of an ounce per 1,000 square feet on your very first application of the year and the very last application of the year as it's going dormant. And then once a month, we're going to add 0.4 of an ounce. That's 0.4 of an ounce every month or so. And that means my 2,000 square feet is going to get just under an ounce. So that's important to know. It's a very low use rate for CytoGro, which makes it go a lot farther. All right, so we're going with 1/8 of a pound of nitrogen on this application. That's roughly 10.5 ounces per 1,000 square feet. And here I've got right at 21 ounces of product. Now you always start with 1/2 tank of water. Add your first product, mix it in. Add your second product, mix it in. Fill it up with water and mix it in, which is what we're doing here. I want to show you this flood jet tip. If you can see it, it's got a big slit right here in the side. It actually has a very large hole in the middle that the water pressure comes through, hits the base of this tip, and then fans out. It's so large that it puts out really big droplets. I don't know if you can see it on camera. There we go. That's what we're using today. So we've topped off our tank. We're going to give it a mix and get to spraying on the yard. And just like that, we are done. And that was the first 2,000 square feet. You don't need to see me do the entire yard. But the important thing is that you choose quality products and you apply them correctly. Follow the label, understand why you apply them a certain way, understand how they work and what they do. Again, the Bifenthrin is for bugs. That's going to take care of pretty much any bug, an ant, beetle, anything near the top of the soil profile, army worms, anything that wants to eat the grass, and it'll kind of just knock them out, keep them at bay. The Greens Plus fertilizer, 14-4-10, an excellent ratio for centipede and zoysia. I really like the Yard Mastery backpack sprayer. It's a lot like a Flow Zone. It has a high pressure and a low pressure switch. It has the gun style sprayer, which is freaking awesome. It has the padded straps. It's actually quite comfortable to carry. And it has the quick connect tips that come on the sprayer. And it comes with a couple different ones. It comes with the 110 fan spray for foliar applications. And it comes with a flood jet tip, the white one, for soil applications. Here in front of us is where we had our weed pressure when we use Celsius herbicide. As you can see, everything is dying off. There's a little bit left in there that's still a little bit yellow, but other than that, the lawn is clear. We do have a Bermuda grass problem around this tree, and again up here in this front corner. We're going to tackle that on another video. Let's take a look at the plugs we put in 2 or 3 weeks ago. If you come in here pretty tight, you can see we have rhizomes and stolons. These are stolons. I need to water these guys, but they're looking good. They're starting to spread out a little bit. I'm not doing anything special other than our initial RGS and hydrotane application with a little bit of starter fertilizer. So these are looking good. And here's the green up 4 days after application. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next time.